Check this out. Editing YouTube videos can feel like a huge task when you're just getting started. You record your first video, open Clipchamp, and suddenly you're looking at timelines, transitions, and other things you don't understand. But here's the good news. You only need to learn a few basic things to create quality videos for your YouTube channel. We'll hit the main things from trim and split to transitions and effects. And by the end of this video, you'll know enough to edit your first YouTube video today, even if you've never edited before. All right, let's jump right into it. Go ahead and open up Clipchamp if you haven't already. Once it's open, click Create a New Video. All right, sometimes it can take a few seconds, but first we'll import some media to work with. On the top left, you'll click on My Media and then Import Media. Navigate to where your media is located and click Open. That will make your materials available for use on the timeline. We're going to use a couple of videos from the Artemis launch to demonstrate how to use some of these basic functions. Now that we have our media available, we'll drag one of our video clips onto the timeline. When you drag the clip onto the timeline, you now have the ability to trim it or move it left or right. Here you can see the clip highlighted. I'll play a part of the clip to see if we want to trim some back. As you can see, there is a little bit of extra footage at the beginning, so we'll trim just a little bit off the front so we can get right into it. Now, trim does exactly what it sounds like. It allows you to remove part of the actual footage from a time perspective. To do that, you just grab either the left or right edge of the clip and drag it toward the middle of the clip. Now that we have that trimmed, there is some dead space we aren't going to use in the front of the project. It's best to clean it up as you go. This way you aren't stuck adjusting all of your media at the end of the project. There's a couple of ways to do this. Since right now, we just have one piece of media on the timeline, we can simply select and drag the media to the left. Or you go to the top of the timeline, and you'll notice the gap turns into a trash bin symbol. Just click the trash symbol, and the gap is deleted. Just like that. Okay, this looks like a good place to trim this clip back to. So, you'll notice that I played the clip, and then I paused it where I want to trim it back to. There are a couple of ways we can trim the clip back. In this case, I just drug the right edge back to the cursor. Now that we have this clip trimmed up, I wanted to take a quick moment to talk about selecting your correct aspect ratio. This video was recorded at roughly 16:9 with the intent to use it on a long-form YouTube video, and that is what we have selected here. Additionally, you'll notice the video does not come quite to the edge of the canvas. So I'll use the Fit and Fill function at the top by clicking directly on the video on the canvas highlighting it. Click once, it will fit. Click a second time to fill the entire space. We'll bring the cursor back to the front and play that back to check for issues. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Now we'll go ahead and drop our second clip onto the timeline. Now that we have our second clip onto the timeline, we'll need to trim it up to the footage that we want to use for this project. Some of the steps we go through when modifying the second clip can be the same. But we're going to switch it up and use the next tool, and that is the split. And if you want to see this all come together, be sure and stay till the end where we show what this project looks like in its final form. Okay, in this clip, there is an interview with the astronauts. So, I'm just trimming back to the initial comms check and setup. To do that, I let the clip play until I'm at the point where I want the clip to start. Then I right-click the clip and split. Then I can delete the rest of the clip to the left. You notice that when I split the clip, I can now move the rest of the clip to the right and create separation if I need room to work. In this case, we are just going to delete the left part of the clip we split. And you can do that by right-clicking and delete. Remove the gap by clicking the trash bin between clips or sliding the clip on the right all the way over to the left to come in contact with the first clip. Now we'll play it back from the beginning to check out how well the two clips mesh. We aren't working on transitions or anything yet, just making sure that the clips go together, or whether or not we need to trim the clip back some more. Okay, that looks good. Now let's say you want to tighten up your footage and remove sections. You can use the split and delete as much as you want to create the flow you desire. We are just using this as an example. At the end, I'll put it all together to give you an idea of how this video could come together. All right, we'll trim out a bit more of this clip to get right to the astronauts talking. So we'll split again and remove the unwanted segment. We'll move that over and then play it to see how the clips come together. Now, let's say we are done with the clip and we want to trim the whole thing back. We simply grab the right edge of the clip and drag it to where you want the clip to end. You can also just let the clip play until you're at the point you want it to end, and do another split and delete the footage on the right. Now, the next tool we go into is the crop function. To crop both video and image clips, simply click on a clip. And when it shows as highlighted, go to the top and click the crop button. From there, go to any edge of the clip and drag it in toward the middle. Do this until you have the size and shape you like. Let's take this clip to start. And let's say I want to isolate one of the astronauts to have him talking, while the rest of the video displays something else. I'll drag all sides in and create a portrait around him. From there, I'll click the check mark above the clip to close out the edit of the image. Then we could do something like layer the image like so, to create an interview feel with replay footage. If you want to increase or decrease the size of an image or video, grab the corner of the video and it will basically zoom in or out, keeping the same aspect ratio. If you want to change the original crop, just select the image, click crop at the top, and then you can modify your crop. Here's another example of what you could do. Then you could do something like add a background or use an effect. To create some simple depth and contrast, I like to use the blur fill. To do that, click on the clip you would like to add the effect to. Then on the right, click Effect. Scroll down and click Blur Fill. Note that when you apply a blur fill, the effect blurs all clips underneath it on the timeline. So be sure to layer your clips and apply the effects in the right order. Here I'm selecting the clip at the bottom of the timeline. Okay, now that we've talked about the basics of trimming, splitting, and cropping clips, let's talk about transitions. A transition isn't there just to look cool. It tells your viewer how to interpret the next moment. And just because Clipchamp gives you 44 transitions doesn't mean they all need to be used. So today we're going to show you how to use transitions, while also demonstrating some of the more common ones. But first, let's take a quick step back and talk about the different types of transitions. We'll start with no transition. This is also known as a hard cut, and it's best for talking head videos, tutorials, and fast-paced content. It keeps things direct and efficient. Fade or blur transitions are ideal for softer pacing. They work well in emotional scenes, intros and outros, or when you want to show the passage of time. Slide and wipe transitions are great for more energetic content. Use them for comparisons, movement between ideas, or when you want to add visual momentum. Zoom, spin, and other dynamic transitions are best suited for high-energy videos like gaming, reels, or highlight edits. These add excitement and intensity when used correctly. So let's get right into it. To get to transitions, navigate to the left menu bar. The 6 from the top will be your transitions. Click on Transitions, and that will bring you into the Transitions menu. The best transition is often the one your audience barely notices. Okay, let's show you how this is done. To prepare, I'm just going to take this clip and we'll split it to make an easy clip to demonstrate with. I'll use a very obvious transition so you can see how it works. All right, I've split this clip here. I'll push that back together so we can add a transition. From there, I'll go over to Transitions, and for this, I'll select the Exchange transition and place it in between my clips. Again, note that the clips must be flush up against one another. Let's play these 2 clips back so you can see the transition. The exchange transition used here is definitely one you use sparingly or as part of a greater structure. Now let's show you how to use a few of these transitions. All right, let's start with probably one of the most common transitions used by creators, and that's the crossfade. It's good for passage of time or location changes. This man used to clean fish tanks for a living, until one simple idea changed everything. Now here's a cross blur. It's good for a stylish scenery change or hiding mismatch cuts. It's usually not recommended for tutorials. changed everything. The next section is wipes. Hard wipe down is clean and punchy. Great for structure, but too many wipes can make your video feel like a PowerPoint. Help the customers. Let's watch that again. Help the customers. You see what I mean? All right, let's move on to one of my favorites, the zoom. Zoom in is one of the most usable energetic transitions. Fast, modern, and great for emphasis. Push up is best for progress, upgrades, or moving to the next level. Push left is great for moving quickly between ideas or sections. A strong choice for tutorials and list videos. We're here to help, so make sure you stay tuned and you're subscribed. Morph Glitch creates a warped, glitchy transition that fits futuristic visuals, fast-paced content, or bold reveals. Day in and day out. Day in and day out, the same routine. And last in the glitches is Pixelate. Pixelate gives a blocky digital look and is great for gaming, retro themes, or playful scene changes. Day in and day out, the same routine. All right, that was our section on transitions. Next, we're going to go over one of the most underrated but highly used functions in Clipchamp, and that is speed control, but you probably recognize it as slow motion or time lapse. Sometimes slowing things down makes the moment feel bigger, and sometimes speeding things up makes hours disappear in seconds. And today, we're going to learn how to use both of these techniques in Clipchamp. Now, first let's take a look at this clip from Sherlock Holmes. In this clip, the director takes you from real time to slow motion as Sherlock takes you through the steps he uses to take down his opponent. This not only draws you into his mind, but creates a suspense and tension as you impatiently wait to see what comes next. Now, let me show you how this is done, and how you could do it too. First, I'll grab an action clip and drag it onto the timeline. I'll use this long jump clip here. I'll play it at normal speed so you can see what it looks like to start. As you can see, not very dramatic. It doesn't give time to create any kind of tension or anticipation. Now let's take this clip, and right before the athlete jumps, we'll slow it down. This creates suspense and anticipation, the exact emotions that keep viewers engaged and make the moment feel more intense. As you can see, you first play the clip at normal speed to the point where you want to slow it down. Once you get to that point, split the clip into 2 clips. And real quick, if you haven't watched our video on the basics like splits and cuts, be sure to go back and watch those so you understand how to properly combine these tools. Now that we've split the clip, make sure that the new clip has been highlighted by clicking that segment. Then go over to the right toolbar and click on Speed. Here you will see a slider that will change the speed of your clip. Moving the slider to the right increases the speed. Moving it to the left slows it down. Here, we want to slow it down, so we'll slide it to the left. All right, let's see how that looks. That looks pretty good. Should we slow it down a bit more? Sometimes it takes a few adjustments to get the speed right. Let's look again. I think that'll work. Now, let's transition it back to normal speed. To do that, we'll split the clip again at the point we want the clip to resume normal speed. We'll click on the clip and then go over to the right toolbar and click Speed again. From there, we'll adjust the slider back to the 1 mark. Now we'll play that through both of the speed changes. You know, looking at it again, I think we should slow it down some more. So let's bring it down to 0.3. All right, let's try that again and see how it looks. Now that's much better. It really creates the type of anticipation we're looking for. And then it finishes it up with a normal speed clip at the end. Here's what it looks like in normal playback. Notice I'm not using transitions here because these sections are from the same clip. If you were moving between separate clips, then a transition would make more sense. Pretty cool, right? All right, let's say we now want to speed up a clip for a situation like a time lapse. That is exactly what Perkins Builder Brothers does in this video here. Amazing cliffside home built in 10-minute time lapse. Time lapse works in a similar way by building anticipation. But instead of waiting days to see the finished result, viewers can watch the entire process unfold in just minutes. That's what makes time-lapse videos so satisfying to watch. Now here's an example. Speeding footage up really isn't much different. The key is creating variations in speed to keep viewers engaged. A constant 4x or 10x speed can start to feel repetitive. So we'll select the point we want to speed up the clip. So we'll start here. Right now the clip is set for 1x speed, so we'll bring it up to 4x speed. Feel free to make it whatever makes sense for your content. This clip is only 29 seconds, so it doesn't make sense to speed it up anymore. Okay, that's good. Now we'll slow it back down to end the clip. So we'll split again and set it back to the 1x speed. Now we're about to play it back. Now I can't emphasize enough how important it is to play it after you've made your speed changes. When you change speeds, the clips change in size on the timeline. If you're not careful, sometimes gaps will build between your clips, like this one here. So pay close attention to that. Now let's play that to check it out. Okay, here's our speed up. And here's where we bring it back to normal speed. Now, let's look at it in production. Not bad, right? Now let's put it all together. We've used over 9 different Clipchamp tools throughout today's video. But let's show you how everything comes together when used properly. We'll start here with a fun slow motion demonstration. Listen closely to the scenario and see if you can find the person I'm talking about. Let's say we have a story about an investigator tracking a suspect. They are monitoring a crowd and looking for this person. And just as they see the suspect, a bus drives right in front of them.
Alpha 1, are you in position?
Affirmative Tango 2. No eyes on suspect at this time. Oh, wait. I think I've got eyes on him. Affirmative. Black backpack heading west on Chamberlain. Wait. I lost him. He ran behind the bus. Damn it.
Forget it. We've got to take them. All units, it's a go.
Now here's a stickman clip used to demonstrate transitions. Pay close attention and see if you can find the number of different transitions I used. And don't forget to put in the comments. This man used to clean fish tanks for a living. Until one simple idea changed everything. Every day, Jake went to work at a small mom-and-pop pet store. Day in and day out, the same routine. Feed the fish, clean the cages, help the customers, and repeat. At night, he watched YouTube creators making money doing what they love. He wanted in, but had no clue what to make videos about. Then it hit him. Every day, people asked him the same questions.
What pet is easiest for beginners?
How do I clean my fish tank?
That's when he realized he already knew something valuable. So, putting his anxiety aside, he posted his first videos. They were simple, not fancy, not perfect, but helpful. People shared them. And to his surprise, subscribers grew and comments poured in. Before he knew it, YouTube ads, affiliate links, and sponsors earned more than his job. Eventually, Jake left the store and worked for himself, teaching what he already knew. Now what about you? What is something you know that you can help others with? Perhaps it's a skill, a hobby, a job, or just simply experience. With a little drive and a bit of courage, that could be your channel. If you're ready to start your YouTube journey, we're here to help. So make sure you stay tuned and you're subscribed to stay up to date with the latest content. And here's our last demonstration. It's a quick intro for the Artemis launch. Remember, we use things like split, trim, and crop as well as some other things in this video.
On April 1, 2026, NASA sent 4 explorers into space to do something that hasn't been done since 1972. Apollo 17 was the last mission to land astronauts on the moon. And although the Artemis 2 mission will not put anyone on the lunar surface, sending humans in orbit around our close friend will lay the groundwork for a return to the surface in 2027. The crew, as part of Artemis 2, will practice real mission conditions like deep space communication, crew procedures, and navigation and trajectory control. It's the dress rehearsal for the biggest show in the universe. So make sure you stay tuned as we take you where no man has gone before.